In this video, I want to cover some of the new features that the Power BI team has released as part of the May 2021 Power BI update. I'm also going to try to cover some of the new things that they announced on the Microsoft Business Applications Summit. All of that and more. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi, my name is Fernan and welcome to the Solutions Abroad YouTube channel where I focus on teaching beginners the wonderful world that is Power BI. I upload new videos every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when a new one is out. So the first feature I want to cover today are the modern visual tooltips. So these new tooltips seem to allow you to drill down or drill through your data, similar to how you would get it when you right click. Instead, now it's coming as a tooltip. And this new tooltip is currently in public preview, so it means that if you want to start using it, you need to make sure you enable it in the preview settings in your Power BI desktop. If you don't know what drill downs or drill throughs do, I covered it in a separate video. But basically, it just allows your users to drill through to your data by going to a different page of the report, applying the filters that you have on the current page that you have. This feature also comes with a customizable styling. So what that means is that you're able to, change the background of the tooltip, the text icon, the color to match with your report themes. You can customize the themes of your tooltips by going through the customize theme menu, or if you want to do it individually, you can do it in the format pane of every visual. So some limitations: bear in mind that the drill actions don't work for all the types of visuals available in your Power BI report. I'll leave a list here for reference, so bear in mind when you're using this new feature. Small multiples feature is now out of preview feature, so it's now on by default. So in this month, they've added the ability to set date hierarchies to render as continuous axes in your small multiples visual. And it seems that the Power BI team is heavily investing in this feature, the small multiples feature, that they've released a separate blog post listing out the roadmap plan for this visual. So great. The new fields list is now out of preview, so it's now on by default to everyone. And if you don't remember, it's the overhaul of the menu system, of the icons and the right-click menus for the different views that you have in Power BI desktop to, clean it up and make sure it's standard for all of those views. In this month, they've also added the ability to remove sensitivity labels to your Power BI datasets. Don't see any reason why you would want to do that, but anyway, it seems that they've added that, so you can do that by just unchecking from the drop-down menu of the sensitivity labels, and you won't have to deal with that ever. Smart narratives and anomaly detections are also out of public preview. They're now on by default, and if you don't know what these are, I've covered them in 2 separate videos in the past. Essentially, these are AI-based visuals that allows you to do analysis without having to deal with AI models or complex algorithms. The Q&A feature is now supported for direct query for Power BI datasets and Azure Analysis services. So it's the way for you to connect to datasets in your workspace using direct query. And it seems that before, if you're using a direct query connection in your Power BI report, you aren't able to use the Q&A features. Now you're able to do that with this new update. So with this new feature available for you in direct query, you can do things like defining your custom synonyms, training your Q&A custom business terms, and setting up featured questions, things like that. And if you want to take advantage of this direct query from your Power BI datasets to the Azure Analysis services, it's a preview feature, so you need to make sure you enable it in the preview settings in your report. For this month, they've also added some updates for the lineage view in the Power BI service. So if you didn't know yet, in the Power BI service, you're able to show the workspace or your reports in lineage view, where you can see the different dependencies that you have, the different data sets, dashboards, or data flows that you have. And now when you do that with your reports, it's not limited to just your workspace, but it spans outside of your workspace as well. And by seeing all the dependencies regardless of which workspace it belongs to, it gives your users some good understanding of where your data is coming from and kind of troubleshooting when there is some issues with your data sets or data flows. It's also a good way to monitor and notify your contacts in case something changes or something goes wrong when you are managing your workspaces. They've now also added the ability to limit the number of direct query connections you can make into different data sets in your Power BI service. So if you remember, you can use datasets within your Power BI service as your source for your reports. And before you weren't able to do that, and I think you can do it with a third party before to limit the number of connections you have for your datasets, but now they've made that available natively in Power BI Desktop. If you work with SharePoint lists, you're gonna like this one. They've now added the ability to generate Power BI reports directly in your SharePoint list. So in the action bar, you have the button to integrate, and then you can visualize these lists into a self-generated report that you can use in Power BI. They've also added some improvements in the Dataset Hub experience. So if you don't know this yet, if you browse your datasets within the Power BI service, it gives you a lot of information about the dataset itself. So what reports are linked to it, any information about the dataset. And in this month, they've added two key things in the Dataset Hub experience. They've added the metadata, which shows you the tables and the columns that you have in your dataset. So it means that you don't have to open the report in order to access and see the schema of your dataset. You can just do it through the hub. And also they've added the action bar at the top, so you can do your normal actions, or things like creating a report or things like this. You can do it straight from the Dataset Hub. If you work with paginated reports in the service, you now have the ability to edit these reports in the Power BI report builder. So if you work with SSRS reports before, it works exactly the same thing. You hit the edit report and it will open up the report builder, which is linked directly in that page. And once you're done making your edits, you just publish it back into the service. And that's really it for this video. I didn't cover all of the features that were part of this month's update. If you're interested in that, I'll leave a link to the full blog post in the description box below. Leave a like on this video if it helped you. It's the best way to let me know that you enjoy this type of content. Get in touch using the social media links that are included in the description box below, and thank you so much for watching, guys. See you again on the next one.